the end of 2011, there were more than 5.8 billion mobile phone subscriptions over the world. Mobile is the first and only technology that reaches everyone.
The mobile phone is part of human evolution. As you look at people coming into this world, all those people will be carrying a mobile phone with them, or some of whatever we call the device, for the rest of their lives. So it's changed human experience.
Mobile will shape the future. The biggest gateway into the internet used to be the personal computer. Today, most people in the world are using the mobile phone to get onto the internet.
I've been predicting for about the last 7 years that mobile will do to the PC what the PC did to the mainframe. So like there are still fax machines and mainframes around these days, most people don't use them most of the time. The PC's taken over.
Mobile devices have already outnumbered landlines 5 to 1, and even personal computers and television 3 to 1. There's absolutely no technology that has been so widely spread in the history of humanity.
The mobile phone is the ultimate platform for persuasion. It's the only device, only computing type device that we carry with us mostly everywhere. Many people, and certainly almost all younger people, have the phone next to them within an arm's reach all the time. In fact, some people just sleep with the phone in their beds or right next to their bed. That gives that little computing device the opportunity to trigger us every moment of our lives. If it's night and the phone knows, because it's tracked my location, I haven't eaten yet, I haven't been in any restaurant, it can trigger me to go into a restaurant that it predicts I will like.
We know as mobile marketers that the world's going mobile, that the people in the marketing departments with the budgets don't realise that the world's moving as quick as it is, and they think they've got time to sort things out and to use the old techniques, because in fact they should be putting mobile first with a view to where the world's going rather than where it was.
Today, on Market, discover a new world of possibilities. Texting, mobile sites, apps, banners, and much, much more. How to make the most out of your communication efforts. What people expect to see from brands, and what will happen next as consumers increasingly rely on their mobile devices to shop, learn, research, play, and engage daily. Mobile marketing sounds like a relatively new idea, or does it really? SMS promotions and offers have been around for a very long time.
Mobile is growing at a rate that's very consistent, 4 times growth over the last year in mobile queries. Approximately 20% of our overall queries on Google come from a mobile device. We're seeing smartphone shipments throughout the world outpace PC shipments. It's going to have a huge impact on all marketing. Half of folks looking for information on Google will come from a mobile device probably within the next 24 months. So it's a huge change.
Every day, the mobile market is growing exponentially. Millions of consumers now search on their phone before making any buying decisions. So, how do you reach these people and make a difference in their buying experience?
Marketing departments tend to lag behind what's happening in the real world and where consumers are spending their time. As a marketer, you want to speak to people in the channels where your consumers are using and interacting with you, so they need to catch up with the thinking.
Especially in countries like India and Africa and Middle East, where people don't own personal computers at home. They're using their smartphone. We are seeing that a lot of companies who are very PC focused, Intel, Microsoft, Google, have very dramatically changed their focus to the mobile world, because they realize that the future customer is going to be mobile enhanced. If I want to book a ticket, I don't want to open my personal computer, enter my password and wait for it to jump up into action. I want to just take out my phone and book it on there.
According to insights from Nielsen, US teenagers have tripled their mobile data usage in the last year. Young people don't let go of their phones ever, not even to go to the bathroom or talk on a landline. They might be having a conversation while checking Twitter or debating a Facebook picture on their smartphones. Some studies even suggest it is addictive.
The whole world is going mobile, and if you don't realise that, you'll be a significant competitive advantage. I mean, even if you're making things like steel, you still need to think about how you're going to communicate with your salespeople, how you're going to communicate with customers, and on an ongoing basis, it affects everybody, and particularly for marketers of consumer-facing brands, who's going to benefit most, but every industry is going to be affected by this.
In remote locations in third world countries, where they might not get television or even printed press, they do have access to mobile.
Any of the statistics around smartphone usage and what consumers are doing in mobile, they're all surprising because they're all moving faster than we had originally thought, and a lot of those growth rates are actually accelerating. 20% of all of our queries the day after Thanksgiving were on a mobile device. These are consumers who were probably in the aisle of a store on Black Friday, who were purchasing things, who were trying to get great deals, who at the same time were in the aisle looking at their phone, doing searches on what's the best product, what's the quality of this product, what are the product reviews, or they might be going from store to store and using their smartphone to get to the next store and to find the location.
Last year, Nokia measured that on average, a person looks at their mobile 150 times a day. In waking hours, that's about once every 6.5 minutes. It's the last thing we see when we fall asleep, and the first thing we see when we wake up. We are using it as an alarm clock, as a calendar, almost as a friend. Can you think of any other technology that has been so largely evoked, ever?
It's not just a phone, of course. I think it's a platform for triggering people's behaviors to get them to do, hopefully, things they already want to do.
The first thing you need to do is look at how your consumers want to interact with you. Far too many companies who are already online don't have a mobile optimized site, and today that means that people are already coming to them, trying to interact with them through their mobiles and failing.
Within Google, all products that we're building with the mantra of mobile first, and mobile also equals tablet, has lots of different screen sizes.
I'm a big fan of creating products that help people do what they already want to do. I think you can get people to do things they don't want to do once or maybe twice, but that's not a good way to run a business. I think what you need to do is create a solution that helps people do what they already want to do, and then persuade them to use that solution.
30% of Kenya's economy moves through mobile. You get your salary through mobile. You pay school, groceries, even cars through mobile. In Brazil, you can even go out for ice cream and pay through your mobile phone.
If you focus on the customer and give the customer the ability to serve themselves, you will actually save money at the same time you're making customers happier and more loyal to you.
Up next, find out how companies are using mobile to get to consumers and who will win the race to get the most out of engaging. In the era of mobile, phones will amplify human talent for collaboration. Information has become shareable, and the time has come to start involving customers.
What mobile does is bridge those two areas. It bridges the digital world and the physical world.
When disasters happen around the world, the Red Cross has the ability to text people who've opted in to donate $10. But you can see tons of ads on TV about donate now. You can read about it in the newspaper. But when it hits your mobile phone and says, click on this link to donate now, it's really easy to do and it's very personal. If I see it on TV, I may think, oh yeah, I really should donate to that cause. But that means getting up from my chair, getting your checkbook, but if it's just click, donate, done. It's very easy.
Tommy Anahan, expert in mobile marketing, says that the only activity he can see as being unaffected by mobile is mining. Even farmers in Africa are consulting their phones to check when is the best time to irrigate. And fishermen are using their devices to price, shop and offer catch of the day to local markets and restaurants.
the sector which has probably embraced mobile advertising more than anybody else in terms of spending money there and using it as an effective medium is probably the car industry still. There's many great examples of being able to see an ad, then clicking on the ad, then going to a landing page on the mobile internet. You can see what the car looks like, you can see what it looks like in different colours, you can do a 360 tour of it, you can book a nearest test drive. It's a completely immersive consumer experience which obviously you're carrying around in your pocket, but it knows where you are and can help you find what you want in the local area.
News media, movies, music and gaming have also discovered mobile early and have been creating campaigns that work well with what people expect from mobile technology.
Customers begin to compare across industries. They say, why is it so hard for me to get an accurate bill from you when I can see everything I've ever bought on Amazon.com? And as soon as one of the competitors in an industry begins to improve the customer experience, then customers begin to go there.
Generally speaking, retailers have been a little slower in some cases to embrace mobile, despite the fact that they're exposed perhaps more than anybody else. Many retailers for many years have treated most of their marketing as you put a store in the right place, you fill it with nice things, people walk in, they try them on, but ultimately that world is sort of changing and you have to now think about how you're going to get people in, how you're going to interact, particularly with mobile when they're in the store. Maybe you can make it easier, for example, for people to try on clothes and share them with their friends who aren't there, as an example. Say, what do you think of this dress? Or some stores in the UK have actually set up special booths where you can do a twirl in your new dress, send it to your mother, or your best friend, or your boyfriend, or whatever, and get their opinion, even though they might not be there at that point.
Market research shows that 1 out of every 10 customers change their mind on what product to buy in store when consulting their mobile on what is the best option for them. You can gain or lose a purchase right up to the last minute.
Because we've also found that about 80% of consumers have used a smartphone in the aisle. So they've been in a store and they've used their smartphone to say, well, how does this price stack up with other places? What are the reviews on this particular product? What's the quality, etc.? So you now have these platforms that are changing consumer behavior. Well, do you have a communication strategy for the smartphone? Do you have a video strategy for YouTube when folks are looking for product reviews and how-to videos about your particular industry?
Customers are already using their mobile to do things like price comparison in store and using other tools. So for retailers, that's something fundamentally different.
Customers want is transparency. They want to know that they can trust you and that you're not going to try to trick them in some way. And you're going to be very careful with their privacy and their identity. We don't want other people to start intruding on our lives and making offers to us that we haven't asked for.
You can start sending them, updates in terms of customer relationship management, special offers, news, etc. And I think that's still a very valuable source of communication. Marketers often tend to overlook SMS because it's sort of a bit old-fashioned. But on the other hand, everyone's got a phone which can use SMS for sure, and therefore that should be part of the dialogue. I mean, brands like Coca-Cola and Kraft have a sort of philosophy of no mobile left behind. So yes, they do mobile websites, yes, they do mobile apps, but they also do SMS because that's the only technology which can embrace every single mobile out there, whether it be your latest smartphone or your granny's old feature phone.
You want to make sure from an advertising perspective that with 11 advertising opportunities on a PC, you only have 3 or 4 on a phone. And so you really want to make sure you're impactful. You have a very focused message that is more relevant for location and for the actual carrier.
Hotels have been developing keys to get into your room just using your mobile. Airlines have created boarding passes that can be scanned from your mobile. Something as simple as SMS reminders to doctor's appointments can be hugely effective.
What mobile advertising is good at doing is acquiring customers. Something like SMS is good for communicating with customers who you have a relationship with already. Fashion has started to really take mobile seriously. I mean, Marks & Spencer is one of our big retailers. There's a brand called New Look, which is launched in the UK, which has launched a mobile website, and that's increased their purchases via mobile of over 800% in a matter of months. When you've got success stories like that, other fashion retailers are going to get on board.
The modern use of a mobile is no longer to talk. The primary use of the mobile phone is now data.
We talked to 5,000 consumers in the buying process across 11 different categories. And we asked them, what sources of information do you use when going from an undecided purchaser to deciding on something? And we found that clearly they still use television advertisements, offline advertising to begin to influence them. But like 50% of those that we talked to engage and use a search engine to help influence their decision. 37% of those use product reviews online. And so we found that we've got consumers now who are using these various different platforms, and so we try to work with our customers to make sure they're engaging with those platforms, they have the right message at the right time.
Brands need to discover that mobile has its own unique abilities.
On average, the performance of a separate mobile campaign is about 11.5% better compared to just it's included in your main campaign. So there are a lot of tactics to take advantage of the mobile experience, but probably the biggest opportunity is for customers and marketers to optimize your site for the mobile experience. Only 21% of our top 1,000 customers have a mobile optimized site. So there's still a huge swath of marketers out there who aren't changing the experience on the mobile site to make it easy.
Mobile is a great way to give and get consumer feedback without being annoyingly interruptive. In Singapore, when you visit stores for mobile operators, the moment you step out of the store, you will get a text saying thank you for visiting our store and asking if you are satisfied with your visit. You can answer freely, and if saying no, you get a phone call from headquarters asking what was wrong, how can I help?
There'll be a lot of new winners and unfortunately a lot of old losers if they don't get on board with the new technology.
Up next, the world after SMS. Find out what marketers think will happen with mobile marketing in the years to come, and how brands need to prepare to continue engaging. Mobile can take advantage of engagement marketing, create better consumer experiences, build loyalty points, get your consumer interested, and it's easier to measure than most media out there.
Any form of digital advertising, whether it be online or whether it be on mobile, it's very measurable, so you know if it's going to work or not. In old media like TV and posters, it's very difficult to measure if that poster worked better than that poster. And because it's all about scale, you have to basically roll out nationwide campaigns. You don't have very much experimentation possibilities, but with digital you do have those experimentation. You can test, you can learn, and you can treat it as an ongoing experimentation program. If I want to run a TV campaign, I have to really start planning today for something 4 or 5 months' time. If I want to do a mobile advertising campaign, I can run a global advertising campaign this afternoon. You can learn a lot faster and apply those lessons much faster than you could in the old world.
But there's still a long way to roll. By the end of 2011, media time spent on mobile exceeded time spent on print. However, only 1% to 10% of the marketing budget is destined to mobile communications.
The whole world is a long, long ways away from understanding how to do mobile persuasion using this mobile device to influence people. I think we're about 8 to 10 years away from it being very good. We're sort of like in the Friendster stage of using mobile phones to persuade. Like, yeah, it sort of exists, but it's clunky and it's not great, not everybody's on board. The Facebook of mobile phone persuasion has not yet appeared yet. But I don't think it's going to be one company.
Nobody really knows yet. It's a new medium, and what new medium means is that marketers have to test, find out what works for them, learn for the future and apply those lessons. Sometimes the simple little text banners work better than big graphical banners and video, but other times it doesn't. So it depends on what you're selling and what your objectives are. So you should be working with some experts in the field to try and develop your own formula for success.
Pioneer companies that have embraced mobile communication for some time now need still to make a change in mindset to try new ways of reaching out, keeping in mind what the consumer wants from them.
I think there'll be lots of solutions in the mobile space, but what we haven't systematized is what are the best sort of recipes or formulas I think there's going to be a lot of pushing things at me from the mobile phone that I don't want. And those will be like dinosaurs. Those will die off. So the approaches to mobile persuasion that work will live on, and others will copy those approaches. And the approaches that don't work will die off. So we'll evolve, and I think 5, 7, maybe 10 years, where people are happy with what their mobile phone's triggering them to do, and then companies and brands are also achieving value. But there's going to be a mismatch, and there's going to be some grief along the way.
But there's certain things you can't do today.
Coca-Cola, considered one of the leading brands in mobile marketing today, still allocates 70% of their budget into texting, 20% to mobile internet, and only 10% to apps.
If you take some brands, global brands like Unilever, P&G and Nestle, they're spending about 2% of their marketing budgets on digital PC marketing, whereas what they should be doing, according to market averages, is about 15%. So there's a missing 13%. What mobile does is actually brings those two worlds together. Somebody can go to a mobile website, they can click on it, they can get a coupon that takes people into a store for the first time to make a purchase, and then you can measure it. Future marketing is all about data, and this is the sort of start of a big change in how people use data and retail and brands and everything else.
I'm not very optimistic that the kind of ads we've seen in the past on TV are going to work on mobile. That kind of advertising forced me to watch things. The mobile phone's not going to force us to do any of those things because it's my device. The loyalty of that device needs to be to me, or I will divorce it and marry a different device. But I don't think it's about advertising on the mobile phone. I think it's about providing experiences, and that's the opportunity for brands.
There's no simple formula about what's going to work for every company, in the same way as there's no simple formula for the best marketing campaign for every company. Mobile's all about testing and learning and applying those lessons to the future, and that's what companies need to do. Try lots of new things and apply those lessons.
Brands need to ask for permission and offer timely and relevant information. It's not about shelling everyone with SMS at once. It's about finding out what data people need and sharing with them at the right moment.
I still believe that the marketing function is still not speaking strategically enough, is not cross-functional enough, and is not bottom-line oriented enough. As marketing people, we love the creative aspect of our job, which is the advertising and the promotion. What we get less excited about is the rest of the stuff, which is also required to deliver the value proposition to the valued customer.
Mobile advertisement has the potential of being so compelling that customers actually request more ads. Brands will need to go beyond through the mobile internet and also offer possibilities for smartphones to build on entertainment and loyalty.
Within mobile, the wider technology world is accelerating much quicker than it ever used to be. So while you think mobile is something for the future, it's actually here for the present and the future, and most other mediums are going to decline as we move forward.
Everybody is going to be connected all the time to the internet. There's only one device that allows you to do that currently, which is the mobile phone.
Mobile adoption will grow amongst older adults to up to 60% penetration, and new uses for devices will be coined. Gesture and texture interaction screens will be developed.
Probably 10 years or less will be more important than the web, than radio, than TV, than all of those things put together. It'll be all about how to use the mobile phone.
In the next 5 years, we're going to see mobile completely take over from the PC. It'll become the most important marketing channel, but it'll also be the way most people access the digital world most of the time.
Increasingly, people will have smartphones. Shops will undergo dramatic changes, and mobile ads will become more interactive and responsive to what consumers demand. As the tablet market expands, brands will need to keep up with changes.
The most important factors for how customers make purchases is availability. If a customer needs something, they're going to be attracted to the thing that is available to them at this moment. We've become increasingly real-time consumers. If I see something or I want something and I can't get it today or in the next hour, then I won't buy it.
Customers will be able to answer in real time to advertising. Brands will be able to use web and apps to continue their customer experience, using QR codes to offer nutritional information on food, or give you a price, even start working with augmented reality.
The rhythm of innovation is very fast. In fact, It's not so much about how smart your idea is, but how fast you can test different ideas. So one of the mantras that I talk about is mini crummy trials beats deep thinking. Trying a whole bunch of lousy stuff quickly will make you smarter and lead to success faster than thinking and bringing in experts and planning forever and having a big budget. No, that's the old way. The new way is crank out stuff, try it really fast. If it's not working, throw it out. If it is working, keep growing it.
I think most of us will end up using our mobile phones to interact with most of the companies that we do business with.
That's it for this episode of Market, but don't miss our next episode, where we'll continue to cruise the marketing ocean, fishing for new and brilliant ideas.